In today's video, you should be on page 5 in your packet. We're going to talk about how the Pythagorean theorem can help tell us certain things about the triangles. Now, one of the things we need to review before we go into the video further is some vocabulary, an acute triangle, an equiangular triangle, an obtuse triangle, and a right triangle. What do those mean? Well, the acute triangle, you can see here, has 3 acute angles. And acute, I'm just going to make a little note over here. Acute means less than 90 degrees. So that means that all of its angles are less than 90. Now, when we look at an equiangular, it has that little equal part. That means that all of the angles are the same, congruent or equal. That means they're all 60. In an obtuse triangle, it has one obtuse angle, obtuse being bigger than 90, and there can only be one angle that is bigger than 90 because the triangle itself can only be 180 degrees. And in a right triangle, we have one angle that is exactly 90 degrees. So just some review of the vocabulary there on page 5. Now, the Pythagorean theorem can help us classify acute, obtuse, or right based on the 3 sides. And the rules we follow look like this. Now, this is all the writing. If the square of the length of the longest side of a triangle is less than the sum of the squares of the lengths of the other 2 sides. So for us, what that means is that if the longest side is smaller than a squared plus b squared, so c squared is less than a squared plus b squared, then it's acute. And down here, if c squared is greater than a squared plus b squared, then it's obtuse. Let me make my greater than symbol look just a little bit better. There we go. Now, how do we know if it's right? A right triangle is when the c squared is equal to the a squared plus the b squared. So we always look at the c squared. That is our big thing. If you turn to page 6, we have an example where it says classify the triangle as right, acute, or obtuse, and it can only be one of those. So if we look at these sides, 7 and 14 and 16, we have to decide which one of those numbers is our longest side. Well, the hypotenuse, or the longest side, is the biggest number. That's our hypotenuse. So we're going to first calculate c squared, which is 16 squared. Then these other two, the 7 and the 14, are going to be the a squared plus the b squared. So here we have the c squared. Here we have the a squared plus b squared. And we want to know, is c squared bigger? Is c squared smaller? Or is c squared equal? So if we look at these numbers, c squared is 256. A squared plus b squared is 245. So is c squared bigger, smaller, or equal? Here it's bigger because 256 is bigger than 245. And if it's bigger, then the triangle is obtuse. That's the process.